You know, that little battle, that big battle that the band was playing for and Gretchen was singing, really is a story of Jesus, what he had to deal with, of not believing enough in what he knew so deeply. Jesus really didn't know where God started and he stopped. He had such a God consciousness. And he came here, and this is Palm Sunday, to teach the disciples and the people that would listen how to acquire a God consciousness, the oneness in life. And that was his purpose and why he was here and why his messages continued for so long, even though it's been a little misinterpreted places that we talked about last Sunday. So we decided that we wanted to talk about some of the important teachings of Jesus. And last week, it was grace. God's givingness, continual givingness of goodness, of love, just as the song said, of strength, of power. But to get to that place that Jesus knew so well, we need faith, belief. We need to claim and have an open container for the faith, the love, the goodness, the power that's coming. And that container is faith. It's funny, I was just thinking about that, and I had the joy of watching our little granddaughter, this little precious little soul back here's name is Anaya, and our granddaughter's name is Naya. But she was with us, and I was watching her, and she was taking care of her little baby, and it was the baby's birthday, and she wanted to make the baby a cake. So I said, okay. So we went in the kitchen. We said, let's make a pretend cake. And then she said, well, let's make a real cake with water. And I said, well, let's go outside and do that on the patio so we don't get everything wet here. So she went, and that age, almost 3, she had to put on her own clothes. So she picked up this little red bathing suit, which was adorable. And we went outside, and so we had the little bowl to make the cake. Gammy, I need a bigger bowl. I said, okay, so I got a bigger bowl of water. And she tried to get in it, and it didn't fit. I mean, she's like this. And she said, Gammy, I need a bigger bowl. So I went out and got a bigger bowl, and she got in it, and she sat down, and it made me think of faith. It made me think of what happens when we can get a bigger faith in something we can't see. It's faith in the invisible. We have to have it. But she was sitting there with such joy on her face, and so she had the faith all around her. It fit. We need a faith that fits these times. And these times, really, there have been worse times, whatever. They're just the times that are anxiety, whatever. We need faith that fits these times, and we need to do it. We're in the business of that. So we should be able to listen to our teacher, Ernest Holmes, who loves Jesus and uses his teachings for his work to expand our faith. Jesus said, how much has your life expanded or grown because you worry? Have you gotten younger? Doesn't happen. He said we have to have faith that God will provide what we need. And he talked about the lilies of the field. Look how beautiful they are. Look how beautiful they are. But they don't toil and spin and have to work at it. They're just open to know that they can receive that beauty, to share and to give and receive that. And we need to have that same faith that God will provide us with what we need. But we need to truly believe it. Worry will only get us so far. Faith gets us so far if we have unbeliefs inside of us. People can pray and pray and pray for years. They want this, they want this. Well, doesn't God provide? Don't I get what I want? But if this flowing of life that is good, that is God, that is joy, that is health, that is abundance, if we don't have an open vessel, if that life tries to flow in and runs into stones and rocks and blocks of disbelief, we want something, but I really don't believe I can have it. We want this, I'm not good enough, there's not enough. If we have all those concerns, that wanting, that knowing can't flow through. I love, thank you, beautiful Barbara, for your reading this morning from Rumi, my buddy. Rumi also said, and I repeat this almost as much as I repeat out beyond right doing and wrong doing. But anyway, the breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Well, number one, for faith, we have to believe in the invisible. We can't see the breeze, but the breeze has secrets to tell us. God doesn't speak to us in words, but the feeling. So our faith starts with a feeling. It doesn't start with words that tell us something. It starts with a feeling, because if we don't feel it and believe it, it's not going to happen. So that's the first thing Rumi says. Now, it's very, very, very possible that we are asleep to the greater possibility of life. And what Rumi says is, don't go back to sleep. Don't you dare go back to sleep. There's too much life for you. And here's what the point is. You must ask for what you really want. And it's not what you think you want. We have to, for manifestation, we have to create a like, Spirit's like a mirror and gives us what we put into it. And if we don't have the exact feeling nature of what we want and believe we can have it, it's not going to happen. So when Rumi says you have to ask for what you really want, it's about going into prayer and contemplation. What is it in my life that is going to really fulfill me? What is it that's going to make life richer, that I can be a more beneficial and beautiful, a light, as Barbara said, the light of faith. What we need is the light that lifts us up, the light of faith. We need to know that we are creators, and we can create when we're in the flow. Now, when you didn't see Ron and Dottie when they were working on these flowers, but they were in the flow of God's grace. There was so much joy and happiness and creative energy that went into the making, and that's when we know we're in the flow of life. So when we ask for what we really want, it's not what we think we want. We have to really settle in and say, is this what's going to bring fulfillment and joy to myself? And if it brings fulfillment and joy to me in a great and beautiful way, it has to bring that to those around. And then he goes on to say, again, don't go back to sleep. But this is the part we have to do to really reach out to faith. When Gretchen was singing in the beautiful music in the background, it's about having the faith to surrender what isn't working, what's holding you back, so you can let go of disillusionment to touch the light, because the light is always there. Lack, abundance, ignorance, enlightenment. We have to reach out and touch it. And this is what Rumi says in this. He says, people are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds meet, heaven and earth, spirit and form. That's where they meet. We have to do our part. We have to find time. Jesus called it going into the closet, but he didn't actually go in a closet. He would close his eyes to the physical world. He would close out all the distractions, all the people that said, I don't believe, I don't know. He would close that out. He would just shut his eyes so his spiritual eyes opened to the truth that life, love, spirit is flowing right now in its fullness. We need to do that. We need to be able to shut out our attachment to all the stuff in the physical world. Not let it go. Don't be, not the spiritual bypass. We can honor their problems, there's difficulties, all of this. We're human beings, that's our job to be here. But we need to know a greater truth. And that's what Rumi was saying here. The door is wide and open. There's never a time that spirit and love isn't reaching out to us. The only thing that's closed is our mind or our heart or our whole self. We can close down. But if we take the time to open up and find peace and balance and confidence in ourselves, we can start accepting. So we have a vision of what we want because it's brought from the inside out. And then we have to do our part. God is always there for us, but we have to do our part. We can't let go there. We have to remember, we are the creators, but we lose faith in ourselves. We're the masters of our own experience. We can decide if we want to be happy or not, right now. There's no time when we don't have power to do that. Think right now about a problem in your life. And then think about something that makes you happy like little girls in red bathing suits. Think about things that make you happy and fill your life with joy. That's how easy it is if we can do it and believe it. There's no harm in being happy. That's how we're designed. Yes, sadness has its place. Tears are here to show us how much we've loved and to relieve us of the hurt. It's tears in fact, I love tears. I do. They open us up, but we have to do our part and remember that we are the creators. Now, when we have our healing wall this Sunday, we'll do our little healing wall, and then our empowered healing wall. We'll do our beautiful memory of a beloved congregant. And then I have some faith affirmations I want us to say together, because my goal for us today is to leave here with a bigger container of faith than we came in. Are you with me? Yes. You're willing to do that because we need it, and that's why we're here. So we'll do that, and that's why the healing wall is a little early. So if our healers would just come up here right now, and all you do while our healers are coming up, you just put your hands out. And our healers will give you a little healing, not long. Begin right now if everyone would just take a moment and open even more to the power and presence of God's healing love, which is eternal. It is infinite. It is ever present. And just see as that love and that light and that goodness is working in and through the Julin family as they deal with their loss and grief of someone that is so beloved. Knowing that love never dies and it is eternal, we see beautiful Deanna as she has transformed, as she has transitioned into this new and next life experience, soul experience. We see it, we know it, we feel it. We bless the family. We surround them in God's light and love and fill them with the peace and goodness that is ever present. And we bless Deanna and thank her for being part of our physical life and knowing the gifts she bestowed are still with us and always will be. God is good. Life is eternal. We are blessed and a blessing. We say thank you for the beautiful presence of Deanna and her family in our life. We release, we let go, and we share the love, and so it is.